Valley Voices and Vices. Cynthia, can you lead us on the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please welcome our president, Jennifer Smith.
Good morning, Valley Voices and Vices. Thank you, Maria, for that amazing introduction. And after every officers meeting, I always have to find my protocol, and I found it really quickly. I can't see the whole gallery, so I'm going to assume that there's no other dignitaries other than our past district director, Maria Martinez Riak, Distinguished Toastmaster, and also D. George Lund, Distinguished or past District Director as well, and Distinguished Toastmaster. The mission of Valley Voices and Vices is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Are there any unfinished business? I forgot to ask in the officers meeting, the list of candidates for tomorrow's meeting, it looks like they're all running. They're not running against anybody, is that correct? Have you guys, George, maybe might know?
No, we have two candidates for Club Growth Director, Ken Richardson and Todd Rush.
Okay, that's right. And then
Cynthia and Jennifer, I hope you guys credentialed.
You hope that we credential?
No, not Cynthia, Lori and Jennifer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's why we're having this discussion. So as a club, do we need to have a discussion on candidates? I'm asking. Lori's saying no. Okay.
No.
So we vote the way we want to vote then? Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we're all registered for the conference tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Any other unfinished business? I will not be able, if somebody has their hand up or want to speak, just speak because I can't see the whole gallery. All right. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, we were all at the officers meeting where we just did the slate of officers. George, do you want to present that slate?
No, that's Lori's job.
Or Lori, do you want to present that slate? Next,
Madam President.
Yes.
At our officers meeting, we discussed a slate of officers for our next officer term, which is July 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. And we are ready to present that slate of officers. For President, Jennifer Smith. Vice President of Education, Cynthia Dick. Vice President of Membership, Lori Leonard. Vice President of Public Relations, Francisca Suarez. Secretary Treasurer, D. George Lund. And Sergeant of Arms, Maria Martinez Riak.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't quite fit so good.
Would this be the time to ask, are there any other nominations or do we do that on election?
On election day.
So election is going to be the 28th or the 21st because our open house is the 28th.
Let's not mix it up.
We can
You
actually
can
do
do it
elections
earlier.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you can do it in a couple of weeks.
Oh, so in
So
2 weeks.
as soon as you present the slate, you can do elections in 2 weeks.
Okay, so election will be done then on
May 14th.
May 14th. So you put that on your calendar. All right. And then we don't have to do anything else on that. We are having our open house, and it is our 33rd anniversary for Valley Voices and Vices. So let's make it a big deal, you guys. Let's invite everybody we know. We will be inviting the district, and we will be inviting the media as well. So let's have some fun. We have 28 days, basically, yeah, 28 days to before the open house. So basically we have 27 days to market it. So let's have some fun with that. Cynthia and I will get together and do the marketing and the planning. But in the meantime, let's have some fun with it.
Jennifer, what time, what day did you say that TLI was?
TLI is going to be on June 12th, and I will not be attending. So that, but it is scheduled for June 12th.
I will not be around, so like you say, I mean, I am traveling, so if you prefer to choose someone else for Sergeant Arms, that would be fine. I mean, I will attend makeup if I could, but I am not here on the 12th. I'm not possible to be even joining.
Well,
just keep
yeah.
that in mind.
Well, let me find out also when makeup is too during that time, because I'm sure that's graduation. I think that's Father's Day weekend. I didn't pick it. I didn't even know that was happening, but Carol said it was the 12th, and I was like, oh, okay, I won't be there. So that's her calendar. All right, so I'll keep that in mind as well, and find out when the makeup is. All right. Anything else? Any new business? All right. We have, I think that is it. All right. We have our Toastmaster today, who is our distinguished Toastmaster. And let's introduce her, Maria Martinez-Moriak.
Thank you, Madam President. Before we get going with the agenda for today, I do have a change. I don't know what I was looking at because I have this information, but the general evaluator of today's meeting is Cynthia Dick. And thank you, Lori, once again for stepping up as the speakers. Lori's speech is about 10 to 12 minutes, Jennifer. So basically we're gonna cover the 2 slots, and that will work out well. The theme I chose for the meeting is the wind. It seems that no matter where you are, no matter where you go, the wind is following you, and no matter which way you're driving, it's always coming at you. We were out for 11 nights, and Doug was driving the motor home, and he says he's never done a trip like that, no matter how, where. It was beating us hard. When we got to the Grand Canyon, which was the last step, it was so hard, that wind. It was so hard. And then I knew from keeping up with the Las Vegas emails that it was just as bad here. I see Cynthia's background. She's always on task. Look at that. Then she says, Maria, you left me off the schedule. I said, well, the wind blew you away. But we're going to start with our Word Master grammarian this morning, George. And by the way, the responses I got, I thought maybe we were going to be all very negative about the wind, but they came in now 50-50. Everybody had pros and cons with the wind. And George said, I don't like the wind because it blows all kinds of crap into my pool. However, I like wind because it keeps the smog away and the city is very clear. Please welcome our Word Master grammarian, D. George Lund.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So I tried to find a word that is related to the theme today in my drug-induced mind. By the way, I'm feeling really, really great. I can't believe that this is the kind of surgery that I had. I mean, I'm walking with a walker. I also walk by myself sometimes, which I'm not supposed to do yet, but it's nothing like I thought it was going to be. It's I still have pain and uncomfortableness, but I'm truly amazed after 10 days the shape I'm in. So anyway,
Was it a knee replacement? George?
yes, yes,
A
a
full-
full
a
knee
full knee
replacement.
replacement?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the word I picked today is whirlwind. Meteorology, it's a relatively small mass of air rotating rapidly around a more or less vertical axis and simultaneously advancing over land or sea. Specific categories of whirlwinds include dust devils, dust swirls, tornadoes, and water spouts. It also can be someone or something characterized by great energy or swiftness, often with an atmosphere of chaos. As an adjective, it's like speed and force, like a whirlwind visit to New York. So try to use the word today and I'll keep track of all your grammar. And it is now posted in the chat room. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, George. Now we're moving on here with our minute master Peggy, who said that she loves the breeze, a light breeze, but is afraid of a strong wind. She hates the whistle noise when the wind blows hard. I'm afraid my house will blow away like the Wizard of Oz. I can relate to that, Peggy, because the way our house is in between our house and the other house, there is one of those flood channels. And when the wind blows, it's woo, woo. And it does feel like the house is going to come out of its foundations. Please welcome our minute master this morning, Peggy Prince.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. I thought a little bit about the wind. I even got a background with the wind, and my favorite wind is a Chinook, but I didn't realize that that is specific to the Pacific Northwest. We used to stand up there in the field with our ice skates on and open your coat and let the Chinook blow you across. It was wonderful. And another hot wind was a Scirocco. I had a car that was a Scirocco, and it's a desert wind, not a Chinook. I thought they were the same thing. But I do have a few corny jokes for you today about the wind. What is a gust of wind's favorite color? Blue. Where does a gust of wind go on vacation? Chicago. How do you stop your newspaper from flying away in the wind? Use a news anchor. What day of the week has the most powerful gusts of wind? Wednesday. Okay, I should like this one. What do you call 10 blondes standing ear to ear? A wind tunnel. What is a metal fan's favorite movie? Gone with the Wind. When does a turbine blush? After breaking wind. Where can people go to be blown away? The Windy City. Why did the tornado take a break? It was out of wind. And what kind of music do wind turbines listen to? I heard they are huge metal fans. And that concludes my corny jokes about the wind. There were some dirty ones too, but I bypassed those. But with that, this whirlwind of windies, I will return control of the lectern back to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Peggy. Your background does look like some kind of a hurricane going through Florida, but luckily I've never have been through one of those. Nor do I want to. That brings us to table topics. Jennifer, just as for topics, and Cynthia's general evaluator, we only have one speaker, as I said, but in addition to the evaluation from Francisca, if we have time, Lori would like to have a group feedback. So just keep that in mind too. Hopefully we'll have time for that. And please welcome our topics master this morning, Jennifer Smith.
And thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. It was a whirlwind of a morning trying to get on to Zoom. I still can't get on. It's kind of crazy. And when Maria put this wind theme, it was almost kind of easy to think of table topics for a windy day. Las Vegas wind is no joke. There's been several occasions when there have been several outdoor occasions that have been ruined by the wind. So let me know how you would answer these questions. I just want to see. George, April is usually a good time to have a company picnic. And I just realized I did something not right. Company picnic. Nice weather, we're defrosting from the long winter and everyone is getting together. Food is ready, games are planned, and here comes the wind. What is your plan B when a gust of wind comes to ruin your picnic?
Wow, Madam Topic Master. Normally, when I go to a picnic in April, I always pack several burlap bags full of rocks because I want to make sure that if indeed we do have wind, that I have something that I can grab very quickly and place on top of all of the windable things like paper plates, napkins, cups. And so I put all of these rocks out and basically I save the day. So I'm looked at on a very normal basis as being an April hero when it's picnic day, Madam Topic Master.
Thank you, George. I am going to have to remember that for our next April picnic because every time paper plates are blowing, easels, easy ups are blown, and it just makes for a horrible time. And it's several times. I don't know why we even do it in April. Who is our timer? Anybody?
Peggy.
Must be
Peggy.
okay. Perfect. Perfect. Sorry, I probably should have asked that question before. All right. Now, remember, we're outdoors and the wind is still crazy, unpredictable. You're at a scout camp out. You go on a hike and you come back and your tent poles are bent by the gust of wind. Do you pack up and go home or do you stay? Maria.
Well, Madam Table Topics Master, that would never happen to me because if I am a Girl Scout, I would be prepared and I would have made sure that that tent was secure properly before going on some hike. I mean, what is this? You just don't leave your tent unattended like that. So I would have come back from my hike and my tent would have been in just perfect position. I would have not had any of those problems. I don't understand. I was well trained as a Girl Scout. And even on my hike was tiring though, but if I had any questions, any problems, if anything started blowing away, I'm sure I would know how to contact the hero, and that hero would be George. So see, we have been well trained. So no, that cannot happen to me. I'm always prepared. I always have a plan A, B, C, D, and sometimes even more, Madam Table Topics Master.
I thank you, Maria, and I am sorry that I called on you. I'm trying to see everybody and I should have that on the agenda. So I'm sorry about that, but that was a very good question. And I wanted you to answer that because I knew that you would be prepared and you would ask your superhero George to anchor things down. If you were Mary Poppins and you used the gust of wind to fly around the world, where would you go and why? Etta.
I have been thinking about this. If I can travel again, that would be a whirlwind. I would go to Japan. I've been wanting to go there for a long time, it may be a little late for the Olympics now, but also Japan has cat cafes, and I am a cat lover. It would be nice to sit and read a book and pet the cats. I would have a fun time. I would also like to go to Spain. I've been wanting to go there for a long time. Probably to a tennis tournament and see my favorite player, Rafael Nadal. He, also, if Toastmasters, right now, I'm having fun traveling virtually to Toastmasters meetings all over the world. I'm having a fun time. It's been a whirlwind this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Etta. I may have to go visit that cat cafe one day as well. That sounds very interesting. I'm not too much of a cat person, but it'll be kind of interesting just to see what actually happens at a cat cafe. So thank you for your answers. One more question. We live in a desert and there's dust everywhere. What is your go-to for keeping dust out of your house or your furniture clean? Peggy. You're on mute if you're answering.
Thank you. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, my method for keeping my house clean, well, I'm having my carpet shampooed tomorrow, if that helps at all. But keeping my house clean from the wind is a really big problem here because I don't like the clean house and I have 3 dogs that romp around. So if you put any kind of makeup on or any lip gloss or anything like that, I get cat hair, dog hair, and dust stuck to my lips, in the corners of my eye, and everywhere. Some people think I'm nuts sometimes. It's not just enough to make you buggy. It's very irritating. So I don't like to clean house, and I nag at my fellow housemates about cleaning house. So yesterday I finally just gave up and stuck my feet in the pool because I'm going to spend the money and get the carpet shampooed, but then I got to have the dog shaved, and they don't have an appointment for 3 of them. I tried online. So keeping the house clean means shaving your dog, and that's really the best method, along with keeping your carpets shampooed. Madam Topics Master.
Thank you, Peggy. That sounds like a whirlwind of everything that can get into your lips and your eyes at the same time. Wow. And thank you for your tip. All right, well, that concludes my table topics, whirlwind table topics. Peggy, can we get a timers report?
Yes, we have a timers report. Maria and her tent poles spoke for 1 minute and 5 seconds. George spoke about his rocks in the bag for exactly 60 seconds. Etta spoke for 1 minute and 32 seconds about her cat cafe. And I spoke about cleaning carpets for 1 minute and 5. I didn't put my own flag on for the timer though, but I saw it. And that concludes our timers report for table topics.
Perfect. If you can send Peggy your votes for the table topics, that would be great. And everybody qualified, I forgot that. And again, I apologize for calling on Maria since she has a big part. So that was for my general evaluator. Anyway, I return conduct of the meeting to Maria.
Thank you, Jennifer. And before I turn control of the meeting to Cynthia, sharing what Cynthia said about the wind, this is the worst season for her. She loves the wind, but the wind doesn't like her. She has the worst headache and sneezing. And Francisca says, I dislike strong wind with the emphasis on strong. The winds in Las Vegas sometimes reminds me of hurricane season in Miami. Not to mention your hair is a mess and forget about wearing a dress or skirt in windy weather. My backyard takes a toll too with leaves everywhere. I know, it's a mess. Please welcome our general evaluator this morning, Cynthia Dick.
Maria, we're not ready for general evaluator. We're ready for our speaker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just getting ahead of myself.
Just like you took me off the schedule. That's okay, Maria.
I know, I'm telling you, it's the wind. I can't catch up. She's passing me by. Our general evaluator, our speaker this morning, and again, thank you again, Lori, for stepping up, is Lori Leonard, and her evaluator is Francisca Suarez. Francisca, may we have Lori's objectives? You're on mute too.
I am getting to all these documents that I need to have available. Lori's,
It's the purpose statement, Francisca.
thank you. The purpose of Lori's speech is to introduce or review a basic presentation with software strategies for creating and using slides to support and enhance speech. It's also to demonstrate her understanding of how to use presentation software, slides, and technology. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Now, Lori, you want me to mention that this is your practice speech for,
Shh.
yeah. So Lori's going to be presenting this speech to a group outside of the club, and she's working on it. So this is a place that she's going to practice it, and that's why she's looking for any feedback that we can give her. And your title, Lori?
Francisca has that too. It is NDOT's Interstate 515 project.
NDOT's meaning Nevada Department of Transportation,
Yep.
115 project.
Yep.
Please
515.
welcome Lori Leonard with Nevada Department of Transportation, the 115 project.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today and talk about traffic. How many of you travel on the US 95 / Interstate 515 / US 93 through downtown Las Vegas? I see almost everyone's hand. Well, Etta, you get a pass because you're in California. I have some exciting news to tell you today. NDOT is going to be starting a brand new project that's going to affect all of us in the traveling community. So let's talk about it a little bit because it's going to create some headaches. How many of you remember Project Neon on Interstate 15? Yeah. So that affected all of us for a couple of years. This one won't take quite as long, but you definitely will want to know about this project and perhaps want to change your commute. It's an exciting project, and it will be something that will really help NDOT and the traveling community over the course of the next few years. It's NDOT's Project Interstate 515. And it's been in the works since 2012, when they first started with this project. First off, this is a viaduct structure, and everyone probably is thinking, what is a viaduct? Maybe you're familiar with an aqueduct that transports water. Well, a viaduct does the same exact thing, but with traffic. It is basically a bridge structure. And this viaduct structure is a very long bridge structure. It extends all the way from the Union Pacific Railroad to 21st Street. And it's old. This section here from the Union Pacific, or from Interstate 15 to Casino Center, was built in the 1950s. Then the section that is from Casino Center / Las Vegas Boulevard all the way to Eastern and east of there all the way to Desert Inn, that was built in the 1980s. So this structure is pretty old, and it's had various repairs over the years, and it needs it again. Unfortunately, NDOT does not have the money for a full replacement, and that's what it probably really needs, but that would cost millions and millions of dollars. So we have this project to overlay the deck. And by doing that, they're going to repair and then re-concrete the deck structure through this section in downtown. They're going to repair and seismically retrofit the columns of the deck underneath the structure. We're going to reconstruct the Casino Center Boulevard off-ramp here in downtown, which is one of my commute routes to work every morning. We're going to provide an auxiliary lane, which will help with traffic eventually from the southbound, on the southbound lanes from Interstate 15 to Eastern Avenue. So that's going to provide an extra lane in the southbound direction. At Eastern Avenue, they're going to widen the off-ramp at Eastern. If you travel this way in the southbound direction, you know that that Eastern off-ramp backs up onto the freeway. So we're going to increase that to 2 lanes. And, we're going to reconstruct 2 bridges, both at Eastern Avenue and at Desert Inn. What is this going to cost? The auxiliary lane and the viaduct rehab, all of that overlay, is about 2/3 of the project. It's going to cost about $28.2 million. And then the bridge replacements at Eastern and Desert Inn will cost $14.3 million for a combined project total cost of $42.5 million. The project is scheduled to start right about now, early May. How does this affect you? Well, the contractor is going to work 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. And the contract working days, it's 370 days. But there are incentives for the contractor to finish early. Why is that? NDOT realizes that this is going to affect the traveling public. So NDOT has provided incentives for the contractor to accelerate that work schedule. And the contractor can earn up to $1.38 million if he can finish up to 85 days early. How is this going to get constructed? Well, the seismic retrofit for the columns isn't going to really affect traffic that much. All that work will be done underneath the freeway, and that can be done pretty much while traffic is going on. However, in order to repair and overlay the viaduct deck, traffic has to be moved to one side. So right now you have currently 3 to 4 lanes of traffic in each direction. And we're going to be narrowing that down to 2 lanes in each direction. Currently, the freeway is 121.5 foot wide. And we're going to be moving that down to just 2 lanes in each direction with a temporary barrier rail between them. So you can imagine this is going to be affecting traffic. There's going to be some gridlock. And this traffic is going to be like this 7 days a week, even though the contractor is only going to be working 6 days. Eventually, though, what this is going to do is it will help the traffic. So for the 37, then this, I know this graph is a little bit hard to see, but what I want to show is that the different exit ramps are being phased so that not one ramp, not all the ramps will be closed at any one time. They're phasing it so that different off ramps will be closed at different times so that traffic can be detoured around the area. The proposed closures represent the secondary traffic impacts, but the primary impacts to the traffic will be the reduction of lanes to the 2 lanes in each direction. Congestion is going to be mitigated by the public outreach. So I really recommend everybody, get your Waze app. I'm gonna put that on your screen. See my little Waze app right up here? Download that to your phone. It'll tell you the most direct route to get to where you're going. It may not be the freeway. You may need to take city streets. Just like Project Neon, NDOT is going to have a public outreach program, and they'll let everyone know what's going to happen and when. Because with those bridge closures, when they reconstruct those bridges, the freeway will be completely closed. They're going to take those bridges totally out of commission, and all of the traffic will be detoured to city streets. And that will take a little bit of time to reconstruct those bridges. Be prepared. It's going to take a little bit of work. But I think the contractor is ready, and with those incentives, hopefully we'll get it done fast, and we're going to have a great project when this is completed. And I'm Toastmaster.
Thank you, Lori. That was a mix of good news and bad news. Thank you.
Always.
Thank you. Peggy, what was Lori's time?
You're on
Sorry,
mute,
it took me
Peggy.
a while to find the mute button. Lori's time was 11 minutes and 25 seconds.
Okay, great. Now I think I can turn the meeting, control of the meeting over to our general evaluator, Cynthia Dick.
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster. So to meet, I'm your junior evaluator for this morning. Our meeting started on time, with a pledge given by me. We talked about the officers. The new officers will be up for July 1st through the December 20th for next season. Change of agenda, restored back to me as general evaluator. It was Jennifer. I love George's word of whirlwind. We're always in a whirlwind these days. We're always moving fast. Peggy, I love your illustration. You're the only one on this thing that gives out good at Wizard of Oz. So where in the world did that come from? I just love that. Jennifer, I love your topics about wind. I'm glad you didn't ask me because of the wind effect on me. My eyes are watering, my nose is going, I'm sneezing. I just couldn't do that topic just because of mentally, it's the wind in my mind. Lori, that is one speech I did not want to hear about the traffic. I am such a freeway person. I will go everywhere by way of freeway. That just broke my heart right there. I don't know what to do on that one. So so our evaluator for Lori's speech is Francisca, but I think we're doing a round robin on that.
No, she's gonna do an evaluation first, and if we have time,
Okay.
we can give additional comments.
Okay, so we'll hear from my evaluator, Francisca, on Lori's speech.
Thank you. So fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially Lori. This is my first evaluation, so this is very tough for me, but everybody's always so welcoming. I thought that you started out with a whirlwind of information overload. I was so busy trying to take notes that I missed the whole idea of what this is going to mean to me and my commute, so that's probably a good thing. I think the data was really well presented and you achieve your objectives of presenting with technology. Data is difficult to observe, but with the graphics and your clip arts, it makes it more palatable. And maybe people will forget about the troubles that we're all going to have commuting. You asked questions that were rhetorical. I'm sure it wasn't for your audience to answer, but it gets you thinking about what it is that is coming next. You made suggestions for us to do other commutes and so forth, and define viaduct, because no idea what that is. You did keep eye contact with us. I struggle with, I'm looking at Lori now, but on the camera, it probably looks like I'm looking down. So that's always confusing. And I notice a little bit of the eyes up and down. But otherwise, with the presentation going, it doesn't matter because everybody's focused on the presentation. A couple of areas to maybe incorporate. I love the graphics and the maps, maybe making the pointer a different color or bigger would help drive me to the exact location that you're speaking about. I don't know if it was me, but I missed the app and there was areas that were cut off on the bottom of my screen. So I don't know if it was me with how I have my screen or if it was just part of the presentation I didn't see because it wasn't fully expanded. But otherwise, I thought that it was amazing, great information. Not looking forward to it from the responses from everybody else, but I have no idea where this is going to take place in relation to my commute to work. So yay. Thank you so much for sharing that information with us ahead of time. And I return control to General Evaluator? Question mark? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Francisca. You're so well organized in your evaluation and everything you do with Toastmasters. Our next on our agenda is George doing our grammar for today, our word master for today with Whirlwind.
Thank you. Madam General Evaluator, word of the day, Peggy used it, Jennifer used it 3 times, Etta used it twice, Cynthia once, and Francesca once. I heard some interesting words today that I liked. Jennifer used unpredictable, Maria used secured in plans A, B, and C. Maria used the word fusil, which I think is another word for a tunnel that kind of goes back behind her where her house is situated, where she gets the wind coming through. I'm not sure if that was what she was trying to say. That's what but I like that she tried a different kind of word. Lori used viaduct. Cynthia used wind in my mind. Francesca used platitude. And then I like the way you used incorporate as a way to say suggestions for the presentation. I like that. Peggy used Chinook, Sirocco, and Buggy. In our awe counters, Jennifer had 2, Francesca 2, and Cynthia had 4. So good job, everyone, today. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, George. Laura, you want to say something? I saw your hand go up.
Are we going to give
That can-
Lori some feedback?
I can,
Yeah.
I can,
Okay.
I
Back to
can
you,
go with the
Maria.
feedback for Lori.
oh, the one comment, Lori, on your graph, this, which was, I think your second slide where you spent most of the time. I think if you have that graph and introduce, kind of give us the overall picture of all the area that's going to be worked on. But then I was not exactly sure where you were. So maybe you can have another slide that focuses on a smaller section of the project. So people can say, okay, this is the bridge happening on Eastern or whatever the section is, and then move to the next one. So break it down in pieces, because it wasn't easy to follow. You know it well, and the rest of us know the streets names and all that, but for me, it would have been easier to be focused on one section at a time.
George.
That's a great suggestion, because when I was looking at that graph, which is a great graph, which it looked like you were inputting stuff as you were talking about it, and I couldn't keep up with what was going on, or maybe it was just my drugged mind, I don't know. But I really like Maria's suggestion about breaking it down to specifically identify the area you're talking about. In terms of the WAS application, you might see if you can find a picture and make that a slide. Because
Yeah,
when you
because
held up the
I didn't
camera,
see it
I
either.
had no idea I know what WAS is, but based on what you held up, that wouldn't have been anything that anyone that was in the audience would have even caught. So I thought,
I don't, yeah.
When I heard
I don't know what it
Francisca's
is, and I
suggestion,
didn't
that's
see it, so I
exactly
was
what
gonna
thought
ask you.
too.
yeah, so
on that.
maybe a slide with a picture of actually the application,
Yeah.
that what it looks like on the phone would be more beneficial to the group. The
Yeah.
other thing too is that I know you know this information, but there were parts during your speech where you almost acted like you didn't know where you were, what you were talking about. And I know that that's not a true statement. I don't know if it was because you had a lot of pauses, but it looked like you were thinking about what you were going to talk about rather than just talking about it. So that might be something to work on, because certainly you know the information. I'm really interested to know why they decided to reinforce those pillars rather than just tearing the whole thing out and starting over. Because at some point down the road, that's what we're going to have to do. And that's going to be another huge millions and millions of dollar project. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my input.
Yeah, and that's a really good comment. The big reason was cost. It
Yeah.
would be over $1 billion to tear it out and reconstruct.
Yeah, well, what's it going to be like in 10 years when they have to do
Yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm.
$2
Lori,
billion.
I think your actual speech is going to be longer, and I think you're going to have questions and answers, which we don't really have today, but I have no idea what seismically retrofit means, what that really means. So either question or answers, or you say something, or just assume that everybody knows it and I don't, because I
Yeah, you're right.
don't know what that is. How do you
It's ear-
seismically
Seismically
For the
retro.
earth,
fix something?
Yeah.
Earthquakes, yeah.
Basically, you
For
bring your
earthquake.
end up to earthquake code. So when it was built in the 1950s,
Oh, okay,
You had
okay. I
different
now understand what you're talking about. I just,
yeah,
okay, I
So there were
didn't understand that.
different requirements. And so now there's micro cracks and everything in the columns. And so they're basically buffering up those columns. and
Okay, I get it now, yeah.
More
who's your audience?
structurally sound.
Who's your audience?
Lions Club. I'm speaking to Ken Richardson's Lions Club on May
Then,
11th.
yeah, I really suggest that, like, rather than using seismic, you use earthquake retrofit.
Or just
Or
retrofit
explain it a
to
little
come
bit.
to code, because see, I thought they were going to do a retrofit in a seismical way.
Yeah.
So bring it
Sometimes,
to
and
code.
that's where I needed this feedback, because I forget
Yeah.
sometimes that I'm the engineer and I use the big words and
I mean, you could say
Right, you-
seismically retrofit, which really
explain it.
means,
Mhm.
and then that will give
Explain
you, that will give you a way
viaduct.
to
On the
just,
slide, and the slides came from NDOT, so I can't really change that slide,
no,
but I can explain it.
yeah, you can make it like, for those of us normal, it means this.
Yeah.
You don't work in that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
exactly the feedback I needed, so
Yeah.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah, you explained what viaduct was.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then
Probably a
don't
little
know,
bit
I
more
knew what it
explanation
was,
of the
but-
technical terminology used in this industry.
And that's typically, I mean, that's really what I wanted to bring out in this speech, is how is it going to affect us? I mean, basically an overview of what they're doing and what it costs and all of that,
Yeah.
but really, how is it going to affect us? And the big thing is it's
Yeah.
the traffic and the off ramps, and how long is it going to affect us? And
As
what
I
can we
said,
do about it?
yeah. I'm not
just-
from Las Vegas, but if I had ever traveled to see you, I would know what to watch out for.
Is it ready to start? You said, Lori, is it ready to get started?
So I'm going to try and call NDOT. I will call NDOT before it starts, or before the presentation, to find out. It was supposed to start the end of April, beginning of May, but it hasn't
Okay.
started yet.
What a
Laura,
ugly
you have the
mess.
ability, sorry,
I'm sorry, Cynthia?
you have the ability to mark up on your screen through PowerPoint,
Mhm.
and you can use a ink or something, just circle the area. This is the area I'm talking about, or something.
Yeah.
Or like Francisca said, that mouse highlighted with a different color. So you can do that either or.
Yeah, and they have, so I'll be live, and they do have a lunch there, so I'll be live at the location, but they also have people who Zoom in, so it'll be a hybrid type meeting.
And I did understand seismic retrofit. So to that point, others may not,
Mhm.
but I always wonder, what do you mean there's a need for that in Las Vegas? We don't have any earthquakes. So
Oh, yeah.
depending on your
We do.
audience, it's like, I had to retrofit my water heater with straps for earthquakes. And I'm thinking, why do we need that? I had no idea.
We
It was
do
kind of
have
funny how
earthquakes.
codes change and you have to kind of keep up with things that make no sense. So
Yeah.
Although we
so
do
with
have
the
earthquakes.
We have earthquakes.
time today, so the time today was perfect. It was, so I have 10 to 12 minutes for the presentation, and then 8 to 10 minutes for question and answer.
Okay,
So, no, that was perfect, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Are we done?
That was
So
perfect.
concludes my general evaluate for today, and I'll turn the chair back over to Maria, our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Cynthia. That concludes my part as Toastmaster, and now I return control to our president, Jennifer.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. What a great meeting. What a great scene. Yeah,
was it kind?
Peggy, I see your background, like it's right in my face, and it looks like it's really the wind's blowing. It's nice and calm.
George, you have to speak, she doesn't see you.
Jennifer, I have a comment.
What? Oh, yes.
I just wanted to let everybody know that this is the place for people to practice and to get feedback on how to do their presentations better, especially in your professional lives when you have to go up and speak in front of a totally different kind of group. You know, we can kid around here and have a lot of fun, but the whole environment that we have here is for that purpose. It's to get feedback. And so I appreciate the fact that Lori felt
Mhm.
comfortable enough to present to us today. And I thought we all had some good feedback for her so that when she gets ready to present to the Lions Club, she has that to be able to use it to make the speech better. So just a reminder for everybody, and especially Francesca and Etta, who are new to our club, that this is why we have Toastmasters. It's to prepare and to practice and to make our presentations good. So thank you, everyone. I just wanted to get that out there.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Thank
George. I actually mentioned that last week. Like, let's take what we learn and we take it out to our workforce and our family and our friends. So, and thank you, Lori, for that. I would not want to be on that committee that designed that outreach program or who's going to be answering those phone calls and complaining. It's going to take a special person to take those calls, that's for sure. I am not looking forward to that at all. All right. Are there any announcements or brag bucks? I'm doing another presentation where it's a CE class again. I think it's next week where I get paid. Thank you, Toastmaster.
You get paid? Do we get a cut?
$10 per person. I have to share it with the people that help market it. So there's not going to be much left after that. So are there any other brag bucks? I can't see anybody if your hands are up. So if you have anything, speak up. All right. Don't forget conference. I hope that all of you are attending tomorrow or tonight and tomorrow. And then also any area director applications. Again, May 15th is the deadline to apply. And I think that is it for announcements. Do we have next meeting scheduled?
I do. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I haven't sent it out to everyone yet. Just wanted to let you know that we do have the opportunity for some longer speeches coming up. But for next week's schedule, I will be your Toastmaster. Maria will be the Word Master Grammarian. Jennifer is the Minute Master. Francisca is Topics Master. Peggy is Speaker number 1. George is our general evaluator. Cynthia is evaluator number 1, and Jennifer is the timer.
It's a practice timer. Yay!
Oh my God.
Oh,
So Lori, what are those names that are way out on the far right? Samantha.
Oh, Samantha, Tanya, and
and
Erica. Those are the people I haven't heard from yet.
Oh. Okay.
And there were holes because those were the other people I hadn't heard from. And as I heard from them, they came off the list.